Okay, so get this. Today's deep dive, we're going into the world of Ryan Leslie.
Well, this should be good.
You sent over this collection of articles, and man, it's fascinating. This isn't just another music industry story.
Right.
This is about a guy who went from like Harvard to hip hop, faced some wild challenges, and somehow just kept bouncing back.
What's really captivating about Leslie's story, at least for me, is the way it kind of weaves all these different threads together, right? You've got ambition, raw talent, the highs and lows of love, and this constant dance between being self-made and then navigating all the trappings of fame.
You hit the nail on the head, and you know me, I love digging into these sources you send over.
Of course.
And these ones paint such a vivid picture of him.
They do.
But to really get Ryan Leslie, the music mogul, we've got to go back to the beginning.
Okay.
His childhood was not your typical, I don't know, like suburban upbringing.
Right.
Imagine this, growing up with the Salvation Army, constantly on the move, always adapting to new communities.
Yeah, it's such a stark contrast to, the whole Ivy League world he ends up in later.
Right.
That experience, I mean, it must have instilled in him like a sense of resilience, adaptability. And those qualities definitely served him well, especially in like the cutthroat music industry.
For sure. Because it's not just that he attends Harvard, he excels there.
Oh, yeah.
Graduates with a degree in government, even gets chosen as, get this, the Harvard Male Orator for his entire graduating class.
Wow.
Talk about overachiever, right?
No kidding.
But here's where it gets really interesting. While he's hitting the books at Harvard, he's also deep in the music scene.
Really?
And not just like casually messing around. This is a guy who like understands hustle. He's teaching himself piano.
Wow.
Forming bands, even producing for local artists in Boston, all while he's still a student.
That takes dedication.
Oh yeah, this isn't just some hobby for him. This is a clear indication of his drive.
Absolutely.
And his commitment to his craft. And that dedication, it leads him to a pretty fateful encounter.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Enter Cassie.
Cassie.
They meet at a nightclub.
Right.
She's just starting out as a model. And their paths just kind of intertwine, both personally and professionally.
And this is where Leslie's story starts to like intersect with that whole world of social media,
Yeah.
Remember MySpace?
Oh, how could I forget?
Before Facebook, before Instagram, like this is the OG.
Right.
And Leslie, he recognized the power of it early on.
Smart.
They used Cassie's profile as like this launch pad.
Oh, man, interesting.
Promoting their music and their song Me and You.
Yeah.
It becomes a viral sensation.
It did 20,000 plays a day, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. I mean, back then, unheard of.
Unheard of.
This was huge. Not only did it showcase Leslie's, talent as a producer.
Right.
But it showed he was digitally savvy, which we know now, like, is crucial in the music industry.
Totally. And all this buzz, it catches the attention of a certain hip-hop mogul.
Well, yes.
Diddy.
Diddy, of course.
He brings Leslie into the Bad Boy Records fold.
Wow.
And things, I mean, they really take off from there. We're talking Usher, Britney Spears, you name it.
This isn't just producing hits anymore. This is like mentorship now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Diddy takes Leslie under his wing. And so does music executive Tommy Mottola.
Wow.
Two heavyweights guiding his career. Think about it. From the Salvation Army to the top of the music industry, I mean, Leslie seemed unstoppable.
It seemed like it.
It did.
So we've got Leslie, like, riding this wave, mentored by Diddy, working with music royalty. Yeah. You'd think it's all smooth sailing from here on out, but like you hinted at, things are about to get a little complicated.
That's an understatement.
Right.
Remember Cassie?
Of course.
The woman who, kind of helped launch his career.
Yeah.
Well, their relationship, it falls apart. They break up and she starts dating Diddy.
Talk about a tangled web, huh? I mean, you can't help but feel for the guy in this situation.
No, total.
Being professionally, romantically tied to both Cassie and Diddy, that's got to be a lot.
Yeah, it's a recipe for some serious tension.
Yeah.
And it's around this time that whole laptop incident goes down.
Oh, this is the one with the $1 million reward, right?
A one and only.
Yeah, okay. Remind me, how did it all unfold?
So picture this, Leslie. He's on tour in Germany.
Okay.
And his laptop gets stolen. But this isn't just any laptop.
Right.
This thing held his entire music library. We're talking years and years of work.
A musician's worst nightmare?
I know, right?
I can only imagine the panic.
So he does what he thinks he has to do. He offers a reward.
Okay.
But not just like a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
He puts up $1 million for its safe return.
$1 million. I mean, that's not desperation.
No.
That's how much his music meant to him. Like, this was his life's work. He was willing to risk it all to get it back.
Right. But as you can imagine, a reward that big,
yeah,
it attracts some interesting characters.
I bet.
And that's where Arman Augustine comes in.
Okay.
Augustine claims he found the backpack.
Okay.
Had Leslie's passport in it and everything.
Okay.
But the laptop.
Yeah.
Totally wiped clean. No music files.
Oh, man. So what happens then? Does Leslie still have to pay the $1 million even though the music is gone?
That is the $1 million question, literally.
Right.
And that's where the legal battle kicks off.
Oh, boy.
Leslie's argument is, without the files, the laptop's basically worthless.
Right.
He shouldn't be on the hook for the full reward.
Makes sense.
Augustine, on the other hand,
yeah,
he claims he held up his end of the bargain. He returned the physical laptop.
Wow, what a mess. So who did the court side with?
Well, ultimately, they sided with Augustine.
Oh, no.
The court ruled that, Leslie made a legally binding offer, regardless of what was or wasn't on that hard drive.
Ooh.
And they ordered him to pay the full $1 million.
Ouch.
Plus, damages, all that legal stuff,
yeah,
bringing the total to like $1.18 million.
Ouch. That's gotta sting. I mean, financially, emotionally, that's a blow.
It was a massive blow. And this wasn't just about the money either.
Right.
This whole thing seemed to be a turning point in his career.
Really?
Public opinion, it was just divided.
Yeah, I bet.
Some people, they sympathized with him.
Sure.
Others, they questioned his...
judgment.
Yeah, his judgment.
And it doesn't end there, right?
Sadly, no, this is when we see those other legal issues start popping up.
Okay.
His relationship with model Nicole Trunfio ends, sparks another legal battle.
Wow.
And then there's the controversy with, remember that detective's voicemail that ends up in one of his songs?
Right.
Another lawsuit.
It's like everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
The perfect storm, right. Mounting legal fees,
yeah,
relationships crumbling, and that looming $1.18 million judgment.
It really makes you wonder, was this just a string of incredibly bad luck? Or were there deeper issues at play here?
It's a question that follows him throughout this whole period.
Yeah.
Because even with all of this going on, his drive, his belief in himself, it never seems to waver. Wow.
It's crazy how, like, 1 minute you can be at the top, right?
It really is.
And then the next, it just seems to slip away.
It's a very fine line,
Oh, yes.
And a good reminder to protect what you work for.
Yeah, for sure. But you've got to hand it to Leslie. Most people, I mean, they would just crumble under that kind of pressure,
Oh, absolutely.
But he just seems to have this unshakable, I don't know, like, belief in himself.
It's pretty remarkable. You're right. So he's facing this mountain of debt, right?
Right.
Including this, like, massive $1.18 million judgment.
Yeah. Had he even made a dent in that at this point?
Surprisingly, no. It seems like he'd only paid like a fraction of it.
Oh, wow.
So he makes a really drastic decision.
What's that?
He files for bankruptcy.
Oh, wow. In 2013.
2013, yeah. And I mean, that's a huge deal, right?
Yes.
But it let him kind of restructure things.
Okay, so how does the bankruptcy actually, play out?
Well, it's messy.
I bet.
It drags on for years, actually.
Seriously?
Yeah. Legal battles, negotiations, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, man.
Finally, in 2017, Leslie and Augustine, they reach a settlement.
Okay, so what's the deal? Does he have to pay the full amount?
It's kind of unconventional.
Oh.
Leslie agrees to transfer the rights to his entire music catalog.
Wait, his whole catalog? Like every song?
Every lyric, everything. He hands it over to Augustine.
That's a huge risk, isn't it?
It was a calculated one for sure.
Yeah.
The idea was that Augustine would collect all the future royalties,
Right.
And hopefully reach a certain amount within like 6 years. And if he didn't hit that target, then the rights would go back to Leslie.
So there's a chance for him to get his music back.
Exactly.
But then I remember there was more like controversy, right?
Hey, you're right. Just when things seem to be settling down, more financial irregularities, they kind of surface.
What do you mean?
The bankruptcy trustee, he finds these hidden royalty payments.
Oh, no.
Accuses Leslie of basically concealing assets.
Ugh, here we go again.
Yeah, it gets even messier, actually.
Really?
More accusations, more investigations. It's a whole thing.
So what happened?
Well, the details of the final, resolution, they're never fully released.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all kept under wraps, legal confidentiality.
Wow. It's what a wild ride.
That's an understatement.
It really is, but through it all, he never really stops making music, does he?
He doesn't, no.
It's this whole other side of the story while all this is going on.
Yeah.
Lawsuits, the bankruptcy.
Right.
He's still releasing albums.
Yeah. 2015, 2018, 2019, he just keeps putting out music.
There were those rumors, too, right? About him being blacklisted by the music industry.
Yeah, I remember those.
Was there any truth to that?
There's no actual proof of that.
Okay.
He's releasing music, he's collaborating, he's proving he's still got it.
It's almost like he's writing his own narrative,
I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
He refused to be defined by these setbacks.
Exactly. And on top of that, his personal life seems to take a turn for the better, too.
Yeah, he confirms that relationship with Jane and Noah in 2018.
Yeah.
Maybe a sign of, some stability.
It's about time, right?
Right. So after all of this, what's the takeaway?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Is it a cautionary tale or a story of resilience?
I think it's a little bit of both,
I think you're right.
It reminds us that success can be fleeting, The music industry, it's a fickle beast.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's also a testament to, the human spirit, This guy who just refused to give up.
Ryan Leslie's story, it's this incredible mix of talent, ambition, missteps, and ultimately, this unyielding determination to succeed on his own terms.
And I think that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
It is.
It's not just about finding answers. It's about grappling with those bigger questions,
Absolutely.
About what success really means, the price of fame.
And how much we're willing to overcome to chase our dreams.
Exactly. And on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Another good one.
As always, thanks for, bringing these sources to the table.